Hey everybody, it's Drew with Southern Yankee Innovations, and today I'm going to go over a project we did recently. We had an old log barn that we had to replace a bunch of logs. We ended up replacing 21, and I didn't get a lot of video, so it's mostly just going to be a slideshow, but I'll talk you through what we did. So you can see a lot of the walls are leaning, and there's a lot of rot, especially close to the ground. And then the roof poles are also rotten on the ends. The cabin on one side, one corner, it actually had sunk in the ground, probably close to a foot between how far it rotted. Found some replacement logs about an hour and a half away, so we had to go up and get those, but the floor wasn't strong enough to drive in and out of, so we had to use the boom pole to hook them up and pull them out, and then load them up onto the trailer and haul them back. Initially, we were going to jack up the corners of the barn and replace the logs that were needed to be done, but the cabin was almost too far gone, so we had to just completely disassemble it. The roof was going to get done anyway, and basically the bottom 5 logs, almost all the way around, needed to be replaced. So we ripped off the roof. We just did it in halves with the skid steer. It made it a whole lot easier. Tagged every log and then just disassembled it. That way when we needed to cut replacements, we knew exact measurements of what was there. We did make some minor changes, but overall we kept the same general layout of how the barn was before. Once the building was leveled, we did dig out and put new piers in the corners, and then we used a similar stacked stone foundation. Here we're cutting the sill logs for the floor joist to sit in. Now we've got a nice level floor. The one before was very unlevel and soft. The original barn had been repaired probably at least twice before us, and when we replaced the foundation, it raised the cabin or the barn up quite a bit, so we ended up dropping the door down one log instead of having 2 logs below the door. We're not really sure what the building was used for before. The door is very short, and then once you walk in maybe 4 feet or 5 feet or so, there was like a short division wall, and then it would open up into the main area, almost like a pen of some sort, but it's got a floor in it, so that wouldn't make any sense. Here you can see just adjusting some notches. Some of the previous logs that were replaced actually had square notches instead of the steeple notches that were on the rest of the barn. So once we got up top and those logs had already been replaced, we just kept them with the square notches. We bought new, instead of using old logs, we did buy treated pine logs for the top sill plate. And we replaced the rafters with new rough cut 2x4s. We hauled off one full dumpster, which was about 3.5 tons of old material. The barn then got 2-inch thick by 6-inch wide flooring, and we salvaged some of the purlins, and then the rest we put in new before we put on a brand new metal roof with cedar soffit and fascia. The homeowner wanted to reuse as many materials as possible, so we reused the front clapboard siding and a very little bit on the back, and then he had an old homestead on the property where we pulled out some 4x6 beams, and we decided to add in a little loft so we had some extra storage. Then there's some before and after pictures just so you can compare, and I appreciate everything, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.